Okay, Assalamualaikum, Madam Syahreena. We are from class NBSA 5B. We would like to present our forum discussion. But first of all, I will introduce with our team members. Basically, we have 4 team members. First is myself. My name is NADIA SHAHIRA. And our second team members, Nur Syahira IZZATI. Next, Rabi'atul Adawiyah. And also FARHANY NABILA. So today, our title for our discussion is about, do electronic device is important in this era? Okay. Electronic gadget as one of the device or tool that is frequently novel or ingenious. Smartphones, tablets, laptop, or computers are the most obvious examples of electronic gadgets. In recent years, this device has become increasingly general purpose as they combine several functions, including making calls, streaming video, and also playing games.
Okay, hence, electronics is about manipulating electricity to accomplish a particular task and is very much a hands-on endeavor. Since the result of building electronic circuit is usually a device that performs a task, this hands-on aspect should be self-evident.
Okay, now we will begin our first discussion for this forum discussion. With our first supporter is Miss Rabi'atul. So, Miss Rabi'atul, do you mind to share your point with us today?
Thank you to our moderator for discussion. So before I begin with my argument, I would like to introduce myself briefly. My name is Rabi'atul Adawiyah binti Mohamad Amin. My student ID is 2020345279, and I'm going to be the supporter, which is the agree side. So according to the topics, so for me, electronic device is help us to be more organized and be more productive. So based on the article Bright Side Cover mentioned that it is better way to utilize and make use our electronic device to assist us to keep on track and also organize every single thing in every single day of our life. So there are several ways listed that we can use our electronic device to start our day with life. So first one is online calendar, notes, reminders, also timers and alarms. So as we all know, smartphone these days have their own application that already been installed with notes, reminder, calendar, and many more before we purchase it. So the next one is the advantage of having this kind of application in our phone is allow us to create many things such as create lists, tasks, and many more in order to help youngsters, students to keep on track with their assignment due dates, homeworks that given by their teacher or lecturer. So although notes and reminder are different application, but they both equally useful and provide same benefits to us. So the first one is note application. So notes application is allow us to create listing and make a checklist, which actually can be shared via emails, text, WhatsApp, or any link that can be shareable with other people involved. So the second one is reminder application. So reminder application is quite practical and functional for students or teenagers to use it because it allows them to schedule any events, lists, or anything that assists them to keep on track on anything to be done. So the third one is calendar application. So all of us already know that calendar application is one of the applications that already been installed in our smartphone, right? So calendar can be used for marking down any appointment dates, event, meeting, as well as our classes schedules. So which this can be reminder, set a reminds a couple of days or a minutes before our class begin. So if we have a Google account that we set up in our phones, so this Google Calendar application can be downloaded from Google Play Store that automatically synchronized with our Google Mails. At the same time, we can receive notification regarding any dates that we mark in our Google Mails, Google Calendar. So besides, we also can share our Google Calendar with anyone that involved in our event, class, discussion in order to notify them regarding time and date stated. So don't forget about timers and alarm in our smartphone because they also have their own benefit and we also need to use it wisely. So one of the great thing about this application is we can set time for each different and separate day and time of the week. So that's all for my first point for this argument about this topic. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rabi'atul. So, Ms. Farhani, do you have anything to say regarding Ms. Rabi'atul's statement?
Okay, thank you to Mrs. Shaira. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is FARHANY NABILA, and my ID number is 20201607 and 57. Okay, I'm not totally agree with first point of Rabi'atul. Maybe it can keep us organized, but I think it's an unhealthy activity where we need to use a device every day and every time. It's much easier to find notes if written in a book. If you use electronic device every time for work or for classes, most of the hours are spent on it. Okay, let's make a conclusion. We work 8 hours per day and times with 5 days. The total is 35 hours and that's all just only used for work, not include when we use it at home. Social media or any device have the potential to cause our psychological and physical health. Okay. Device or technology, physical, psychological and physical health effect, as well as how to develop healthy technology habits and avoid overuse. Okay. Example for psychological is isolations. Isolation is one of the negative psychological impact of overuse or dependence on device. Although social media and other devices are intended to bring people together, they may have the opposite impact in some circumstances. A 2017 study in young adult age 19 to 32 years found that people with higher social media use were more than 3 times as likely to feel socially isolated than those who did not use social media as often. For examples, psychological issue are sleep problems. Using device too close to bedtime can lead to sleep problems. Blue light such as that from cell phone, e-readers, and laptop stimulate the brain, which causes this effect. A 2014 study found that this blue light is enough to disturb the body's natural circadian rhythm. This disruption may make it difficult to fall asleep or cause a person to be less attentive the next day. People should avoid using devices that emit blue light an hour or 2 before night to avoid the potential effect of blue light on the brain. Gentle activity to wind down with instead, such as reading a book, or doing gentle stretches, or taking a bath are alternatives. That's all my first point to argue Rabi'atul first point.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Farhani. That's actually a great point from you, Ms. Farhani. And how about you, Ms. Rabi'atul? Do you actually agree with her?
Thank you to our moderator, Ms. Nadia, and also thank you to our opponent side, Ms. Farhani. But for her point, I quite disagree with her because my second point is to support my argument is easy access to information. So basically, we all know that information right now is on a fingertip, right? So based on the Turbo Future article by Paul Goodman, he stated that anyone with access to the internet has the access to large proportion of world's knowledge and information over the web, which lessons and learning can now be delivered virtually online. So easy accessing to information is one of the advantages and having electronic device for students or teenagers or youngsters. So as a student, accessing any information is a vital this day, especially for students who need to find any sort of data, figures, statistics, or knowledge in making research, assignment, report, and many more. So for research assignment, students are expected to do some research and explore on any particular topics and produce the best report and types of high quality material sources of information. So besides, students are no longer able to physically go to the libraries and search through hard copy printed books one by one just for preparing simple research or assignment, which nowadays information is on the fingertip within matter of seconds, like I mentioned before. So researching online is not only limited to the Google Scholar or through their university libraries. They also can access information within the internet or digital databases such as Google Books or digital libraries. So these platforms, they can be accessible through tablets, mobile phones, laptops, computer, or any devices of the student. So that is my second point in arguing the arguments of Farhany's point. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rabi'atul. So, Miss Farhany, what do you think about Miss Rabi'atul's statement? Is there anything you want to argue with the Miss Rabi'atul statement?
Thank you, Mrs. SHAHIRA. I'm not agree with Rabi'atul's points. Okay. Not all information we can easily or free to access. Okay. A part of it, when I want to find information or do research, I need to access it by email or I need to buy it. Furthermore, depending on the information we are looking for, it's either to go to website that have connections to particular outside sources, organizations, books, or studies to back up what they say. Keeping this in mind, Wikipedia cannot always be relied upon as a credible source for crucial information. Health diagnosis or real biographical information, for example, because it can be edited by anybody on the internet. However, it's a fantastic place to start looking for external sources and link edges. When using website sources for research tasks, evaluation is extremely vital, but it's also important to analyze website critically, even if your research is solely for personal reasons. For media outlets, reputation is important. As a result, the largest news organizations readership is, the more likely it's that fact will be verified. Another factor to consider is bias. Bias is a proclivity to hold a particular point of view on a variety of topics. The 2016 Brexit vote in the United Kingdom and the tumultuous US presidential election highlighted how the device age has affected news and cultural narrative. New information platforms feed the exchange instinct people have to find information that syncs with their perspective. A 2016 study that analyzed 376 million Facebook users' interactions with over 900 news outlets found that people tend to seek information that aligns with their views. That's all my last point to argue Rabi'atul's last point. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you everyone. That's all for our first discussion. We will begin discussion 2 after this.
For the second discussion of this forum regarding this topic, Farhany and I will be the moderator for Nadia and Shahira's second forum discussion. So Ms. Shahira, did you agree with the statement that electronic devices are very important during this era, especially for youngsters such as students?
Okay, first of all, my name is Syahira IZZATI binti BORKHAN FAUZI. My ID number 2020760137. I'm from the supporters or agree side in this forum discussion. Okay, so basically, before going to discuss all the advantages of using mobiles, I would like to discuss my first main point on why phones become good for people's safety. As we all know, today the world has been changed and criminal activities happening on the next level. So keeping a mobile phone with us every time is a good safety option. We have heard about lots of criminal activities like kidnapping, rape, theft, or of various things in our locality. In the event of an emergency, having a cell phone can allow help to reach us quickly and could possibly save life. However, the importance of cell phones goes way beyond personal safety. Modern cell phones are capable of internet access, sending and receiving photos and files. And some cell phones are equipped with GPS technology, allowing for use in most locations around the world and allowing the cell phone to be found or the user located in the event of loss or emergency. So in a different of illegal activity, the mobile phone helps us because it is the faster communication device. So it helps us to call the police and relative. So as soon as possible, they help us in that situation. Due to this type of issue, parents were also providing a mobile phone to their children to keep every time with them. So that's all for my first point.
Provide the user with a sense of security or good for purpose safety. That's a SHAHIRA's first point. SHAHIRA agrees that electronic devices are important in this era. I would like to ask Ms. Nadia, do you agree with SHAHIRA's first point?
Okay, thank you to Ms. Farhani. First of all, I will introduce myself. Okay, my name is Nadia SHAHIRAH binti ROSDI, and my student ID number is 2020596893. Okay, now I will present as a second supporter for this agree side. Sorry for saying this, Ms. SHAHIRAH. I know it seems logic to us as we will use the mobile phone to important thing, especially for emergency case. But I will disagree for that. As for me, I think mobile phone can actually make a possible dangers posed to children. Okay, I will give my explanation in situation of student at school. In the case of school emergencies, cell phones or mobile phones have been used to call in bomb threat. In many districts, tracking a cell phone is not easily done. Also, student use of cell phones in a school emergency can possibly trigger a real bomb if an explosive device is on the school's property. Cell phones usage by students during a school emergency can obstruct public safety personnel from controlling the event. Parents can be alerted to the emergency before public safety personnel have a chance to contain the situation. Parents can inadvertently increase the chaos by showing up at imprudent time. Okay, actually there has an article said cell phone systems are prone to overload during the real crisis. This has been proven during disasters like the World Trade Center attacks and the Columbine shootings. Several students using a cell phones all at once can add to the overload and paralyze a system that may be needed by crisis teams, public safety personnel, and school administrators. This may in turn magnify the crisis and increase the chance of tragedy. Besides, most people nowadays are used to make a fake calls, especially among teenagers and even kids. It's kind of a habit to them, and they thought it would be fun to make a prank calls for emergency cases, such as they make a report about someone threatening to harm themselves to the police. This kind of fake call could produce a misdemeanor charge, thought it could risk to a felony, and they also can be imprisoned or fined. Okay, that's for my first point for the disagree side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nadia, for your brief explanation about your first point in order to defend her point regarding this topic. So let's hear another point from Ms. Syahira agree side.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rabi'atul. Okay, for my second point is nowadays children start playing with gadgets right from a very early age. It's not something surprising anymore. However, gadgets do not include mobile. alone, but various other electronic devices like tablets, handy games, and more. And definitely, these products are targeted at the young generation. You can't blame the kids alone. Even parents use them with children to have their speech, which result in something dangerous later. For children younger than 5, it helps as stimuli. It can be used to promote the ability to learn and even for speech. The visual representation of the young ones can be advantageous to increase their sense. Games through gadget promote cognitive learning and analytical skills. This helps the child to increase their innovative thoughts, strategic thinking, and more to be creative and productive. Using it may result in the improved status of learning the technology better and getting more natural with it on the go. Scientists say that the kids who are exposed to technologies have good eye coordination and quicker decision-making skills. Games that provide progress level gaming help the child to be motivated. Moreover, it develops the managing skill and as well as the boost to achieve his goal in real life. So that's all for my point on this forum discussion.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Shaira. Scientists say that the kids who are exposed to technologies have good eye coordinations and quicker decision-making skill. It's the content for Mrs. Shaira to reinforce her last point. Let's take a look at Nadia's last point.
Okay, so thank you to Ms. Farhani. As Ms. Shahira's point mentioned, it can help as stimuli for children. I might be not agree for that. What if I said, if you are too exposed to all kind of this technology, such as playing games or even learning online program to the children, it will also give a negative effect to them. Okay. My point here to be voiced out is when they are too exposed to the gadget all the time, especially without parents' guidance, it will actually can causes to feel anxiety to them and stunt their mental emotional development. This kind of feelings may lead to various physical symptoms like shakiness and fast heart rate. This phase is usually harmless and temporary, but children who are suffering from anxiety experience nervousness, shyness, and fear. They try to avoid people, place, and also doing any activities outside. Child shows aggression or appears tense when they can't get online, and this feeling magically goes when their device are given back. This behavior can easily be noticed. Okay, I actually have been taken one from an article. It said that Dr. Graham said child get upset or shows anger when by small things, and when they get online, they become calmer. He said parents should not the sign of agitation, anxiety, and irritation in children. And also, Dr. Watts added, it's pretty normal if a child gets upset not being able to online with one's friend, but if a child continuously shows anger or depression, not being online, then it's time to start a conversation. Too much gadget also can affect the long time version problem for kids. So some suggestions have been given above to help parents about limiting their child's exposure to gadgets. We can say that the use of gadgets among children should not exceed 2 hours a day, and uses of gadgets in constructive way can lead to healthier and efficient minds for their future. Okay, that is my last one from my disadvantage side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nadia. So, feel anxiety and stunt their mental emotional development is the last point described by Nadia's opponent side to support her contrast statement from Shahira's side regarding this topic. So, thank you to all debaters for discussing this topic. So, what we can conclude here is electronic devices such as televisions, computer, tablets, and smartphones have a variety of bad and good effects side that have been explored in the forum discussion today. So although the electronic devices are not the sole cause of the health problems, they do play a substantial role in a number of mental and physical illness. The result of the forum discussion are mixed, with the majority of the finding pointing to the harmful impacts of the technology on children growth and development.
The impact of electronics on children's result, on other hand, is dependent on the number of hours spent watching television or working on a computer, as well as the sort of programs seen. Furthermore, in today's fast-paced modern world, it may be difficult to keep children away from electronics. Nevertheless, encouraging children to utilize gadgets for educational or study purpose can result in a significant improvement in their life. It may assist them in improving their abilities. That's all our forum discussion. We are going to end it here. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you.